Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome.
Hello, hello, hello.
We're going to give everyone a few seconds to join. And we are making some fun new cards. So when you get here, go ahead and give us a hurrah.
Hello.
Just like Sean forgot to mute. There we go.
Sorry.
Hey everybody.
Hi everybody.
What's up?
What's up?
So welcome to our live. Sorry we were not live yesterday. There was some stuff going on. If you've never been to one of our lives, welcome. Make sure you hit subscribe and the bell icon. This will make sure you get alerts when we do go live. I am trying to be on a regular schedule, but kind of working from home, it's always we go for the day. So welcome. Also, if you're watching the replay, the chat is off to, I think, the right of the video, so you can follow along in the chat. A lot of great questions are asked in the chat, and so if you follow along, you might be able to kind of keep up speed. If you do have questions during our live broadcast, make sure they're in caps. Those stand out a little better for us so then we can see it. So for today's project, we are actually teaming up with Lil'Inkers Designs. If you guys don't know who Lil'Inkers Designs are, I am super obsessed with Lil'Inkers. You guys might have seen in a lot of my videos, I use a nice stitch border. I use a thing called a dual stitch die, a cover-up die. I found Lil'Inkers, gosh, probably 2, maybe 3 years ago, and I love them. They're made in the US. It's a small company, and I truly adore all the designs. So they had a new release yesterday. I got everything, and I wanted to share it with you what I've created and also what you can get. So let's first hop over to the site. If we follow the link with the site that you would find, this is their home page. And everything that we're going to be showing you today is in the latest release. And the latest release, we'll show you in person all these things. But what I love about the website is when you go look at, let's say, this product, there is a ton of examples how to use it. And Lil'Inkers has an amazing design team. I'm telling you guys right now, if you go up to her, I actually have the link down below, but go to Design Team and check out all of these blogs because they have some pretty amazing ideas and projects, not for Lil'Inkers, but everything. So I highly, highly suggest you just take a look at each of their blogs or Pinterest because, I mean, just look at all of these cute cards they have. And they work really hard to get the release ready. And it's great because some of the examples I'll show you are from the design team, and they're amazing. So we are going to take a look at all of these. Now, the only thing I didn't have time to get a project ready for is the animal doctor stamp, so we will probably pop back when we're showing you that one for some examples. But let's go ahead and show you what I've created and then kind of all the different things. So here is all of the cards. So we'll start with this one. Now, this one has 2 new different releases as part of it. It has the background, which is this it's got this nice background. It's almost like a quilted background. And that is part of the new release. These are called cover-up dies. And Lil'Inkers has a ton of them. They're one of my products that actually drew me to the company. And what it is it doesn't actually cut around it. It just covers up the whole background here. And you can see, almost looks like this one is called the Quilted Stitched So Stylish Die. And it just does all of these. Now, it's not cutting it. It's actually just giving you that look. And then I cut it down a little bit from a A2 size card. Now, on the top of this is the other new part of this release. Now, I love this new release. This is called the Scooter Balloon Stamp Set. So let me show you here. For the background, here is the cover-up die, just so you guys can see that. Look at that.
So somebody was asking, do you have to cut these apart?
You don't have to. I don't.
Just bend and go, right?
I just, when I use these in my Cuttlebug, I actually just line them up. You can cut them apart, but you don't have to. I did it just fine. So this here is the Scooter Balloon Stamp Set, and let's just take a closer look at what this has. So of course you have the scooter, you have thank you, celebrate, happy birthday, and then it has sentiments like just scooting by to say you're really awesome, toot toot beep beep, and this one says it's your special day. So of course on this one, now I used all little inker dies, so this here is a die of theirs. You can really, if we get really close, see the stitch on the block. It's kind of hard to see, but it's there. That's also a die of theirs, and I've given you all the links down below. And then of course they come with dies separately. So if you want the dies, which I prefer, you'll do that separately. Let's go back to the desktop and I can show you some of these other cool things that was created with this. So here is the Scootin' Balloon, and look at some of these here. This is from Callie Pearson. Look at, isn't that amazing? She used the same thing. She used another part of the release. Look at this one.
That's cute. Yeah,
those are just, I mean, they're great. This one is from a Chrissy Anna Larson, and look at that with the stars in the background. Just beautiful. I just love this set because you have the celebrate, you have the happy birthday, you have the thank you, and all those really cute sentiments. So the next set we're going to take a look at, we'll go back right over here, Shawnee.
Okay.
Is here. Can we see? Yes, there we go. This here is part, I made this card. This is one of Sean's favorite cards. It's got a really cool background. Let me show you real close there. A lot of layered backgrounds. Once again, this is another stitch die of theirs. This is a stamp set. She borrowed her she turned her can'ts into cans and her dreams into plans. This is part of a new release right here. This is the, I believe it is, I always don't want Spiffy Spot Stamps. I always thought it was just stop stamps, but it's the Spiffy Spot Stamp set. And let's bring it over to my computer again, Sean. I can show him this release. So this one is a stamp release. This does not have dies, but as you can see, it has a ton of cool stuff with those patterns. It's got the sentiment, thank you, hugs, greetings, hello, smile, been well. And this is, once again, this circle die we'll show you here up close, but this is also part of the new release. You can see how she incorporated, Callie incorporated both. Look at that. That is so amazing. It's just great how everyone, you know, looks at a stamp set. Look at that. I love that stamp set. And this person actually, you'll see here, did the red and then used the die and made 2 cards out of it, which I thought was ingenious. Nice. Yeah, Heather Hoffman did a great job. So make sure you check out the design team page so you can get some ideas. It's always great to find blogs and follow them because you just get tons of ideas. And that's what I love about this site is just using, look at this one. She incorporated the stamps behind the motorcycles there. Laura did. That's the owner, actually, is Laura. So anyways, that is this set here. And what I did with it is I took orange and white and created this really overlapping background. So it doesn't stand out on its own, but it just creates this beautiful background with that. The one set I haven't had time to play with yet is this set right here. Now this set is called the Animal Doctor Die and Stamp Set. I did use one of the sentiments from it, but this one's so cute because you got all of the animals. You have sayings, I'm here for you, feel better, wishing you a speedy recovery, get well soon. And of course you got all these cute animals. And then you also have the die set that goes with it. So let me show you what this one, some of the cool things. Here's the stamp set itself. We also have, of course, you know, here we got wishing you a speedy recovery. They also use the cover-up die in the background. Look at that. That's so cute. Once again, there's that circle die, which I'll show you here in one sec. Just a fun stamp set. So I will be honest, I fell in love with the dies first, and then I started getting her stamp sets, Lil'Inkers, and I just really like it. It's a great site. They always have regular releases, which is what I like. So you definitely want to take a look around on the site. So the last thing we're going to show you, and the one we're going to be using today, is this one right here. Now this is one of her dies. It's not a cover-up die because this one actually cuts around it and you have a little bit of an offset, but it has these circles in it, which I love. And with that one and the one we're making today, we made this card. I'm here for you. That actually came from the Animal Doctor set. And it's got all of these fun plaid in the background, really just kind of used it to make it a really fun, colorful card. And we're actually going to be recreating this card.
Laura's here. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura. So Laura, if you guys see her in the chat, is the owner of Lil'Inkers. And I am if you guys want to see how obsessed, let me show you how obsessed I am with this company. So this is my die book. And most of the dies in here are from Lil'Inkers. So the thing that Lil'Inkers has that I love is this, which is called the dual stitch system. So you have the stitch on the inside, a cut line, and a stitch on the outside. And we'll be using this later, but basically what this does is when you run this through your die machine, not only do you get a perfect rectangle with the stitch, but then you also have that offset with the stitch that you can use both for.
George is asking, do you have a coupon code for this?
I do not have a coupon code for Lil'Inkers, but their prices are really reasonable, and they're made in the US, which I obviously love. So, well worth it. So, let's go ahead and get started. Definitely take a look at the new release and take a peek at what your favorite things are. We're going to be making this card. Once again, if you have any questions, please let me know as we go through the process. Ask Sean, make sure they're in bold letters so he can see it.
Please, please, please.
Please, please, please. And I've listed all the products down below that I've used on this. So if you have any questions while we're doing that, and we are changing it up a little bit. So this one uses kind of almost like a winter theme. It's got some light blues and stuff. But let's go ahead and change it up. We're going to do kind of an orange version. So the first thing we do is I'm going to grab my card base. So my card base is just a brown, and this is an A2 size. So that means it's 4.25 and 5.5. And this is just the cards I get at Michael's. They're part of their bargain value. I'll put this up here so people know what we're making as we go along. And the first thing we're going to cut is this die right here. And I use, to be honest, I love using this stuff. This is Bristol paper. And I use this to do a lot of my coloring, but I also use it for my die cuts.
For the die cuts.
And the reason is it's a nice, thick cardstock.
So the size of the die that we're using, what's the size of this?
So the size of that, I can pull it up on the website.
Sure. It looks like it's approximately
4 width, 5.5, 5.25 high.
5.25 high.
4 width.
And 4 width.
Yep.
So just smaller than an A2.
Yes.
So it's perfect for the A2 size.
So the first thing we will be doing is this right here. And we're actually going to be using this die multiple times because we also are going to cut out all of those little patterns in there as well. And you can use any of your whatever die cutting machine you have. I just happen to have the Cuttlebug, and I do use the metallic plates. That reminds me that Cricut sale, which is half off pretty much everything in their store, ends tonight. So right now, even like this magnetic plate that's normally, I think $12.50 is half off. All the plates are half off.
Nice.
So if you have a Cuttlebug and you do not use that magnetic plate, it is a must in my opinion. And that cracking is normal. We get that question all the time. I have a Cuttlebug or I have a machine and it's cracking. Why? All right. So here is, ta-da, ta-da. So that is going to be right here once we are put it together. So this is kind of the base. And it does remind me, and I think that's the name of the die, is kind of a painter's palette. That's what it reminds me of.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So for the plaid, we're going to be using Lawn Fawn's plaid. Anything will work. The thing I like about different cardstock is obviously we want it to coordinate because these colors are all coordinating. So I just happen to have this and I liked the colors, so that's what we're going to be using. We're going to grab a whole selection of different ones and use them in the card. And we might eliminate some, we might add some. I don't know. We'll see here. Because I really kind of like... On the other one, I did all of them. And so we'll take a look to see, because I really am liking this look. Oh, but I kind of like this too. There's more. I think that is it. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect.
Ta-da.
All right. So, kind of seeing, I don't want too much plaid because it can get a little, well, let's do maybe I really like that with this. I like that. What are you thinking, Shawnee?
I like what you just had.
I'm moving everything around, sorry.
You're going to.
Okay, so you like this?
Yep.
Okay. Let me see, I kind of need to add... Is that too much plaid? Just do the one plaid, maybe?
Okay. I see what you mean.
See how I did different plaids in there?
Yeah.
So maybe just do all of them, or
you can do
maybe
all
just that. I like that.
Okay.
This one's too busy, I think.
All right.
All right. Well, you know what, though? I'm not going to really have brown in there. Well, what we'll do is we'll actually make up our mind later. We can do this. So all I'm going to be doing is running each of these sheets through. Now, this is going to create a lot of extra dots, so I would put those in an envelope to use in other projects. I actually give mine away to Patreon, so but you can use it in a wide variety of different projects, because essentially we're just looking, we're only going to be using a few of these in every project. So, but you do you. If you guys, I tend to keep this stuff just in case you ever need it, but if you don't want it, that's okay too. You could probably just cut a little bit of it. I mean, you don't have to cut a paper, but I do. Lil'Inkers, though, if you haven't checked out their site, definitely my favorites are going to be their cover-up dies and their dual stitch dies. I love them. I don't know how many of you have ever bought from them, but they are a great company, awesome to work with, and they're really nice, high-quality dies. Any questions?
How do you store your scraps?
I store my scraps in just a folder, and then I give them away. So this month they're going to, I have a Patreon where you can donate to Ken's Creations, and they get rewards. And one of the rewards is every month one of my Patreons gets my whole scraps for the month. So whatever scraps I had from working on cards or projects, I used to just throw them away. I know, how dare Ken just throw them away, but it's because I never used them. But now they'll go to someone every month.
Shannon says it looks like a cupcake pan.
Oh, it does, you're right.
A little bit.
Huh. I did get a question one time from a viewer that said, when I use my dies, it leaves an indentation, and that usually means you're using too much pressure, or you're what they call the sandwich is too much. Mm-hmm. So I recommend taking, maybe like in this case, if it was too much, you could take away a plate.
Hey, Misfits.
And do it that way. But usually if it's doing that, or if it's doing, I had someone once say, when I run my metal dies through my machines bending them, that usually means you have too much pressure. And you can play with that with so let's go ahead. Oops.
Yes, Misfit, that is a die.
I remember when I was a brand new crafter and my die cutting machine made that, my Cuttlebug, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have broke it. I need new plates bad. So I'm going to be going to that sale at Cricut here and getting new plates because they're half off, which is a great deal.
Yeah, Don has a good idea. You can donate a lot of these things to schools or a library.
Yep. Or one that I just got done donating a ton of stuff to was a VBS, Vacation Bible School. They were doing art projects.
Oh, look at that.
Yep, and I actually gave them an old Cuttlebug. I had the Cuttlebug version 2, because this is the version 3 Cuttlebug. So I gave that to them with a whole bunch of sandwiches so they could have fun. And
oh, Mary Pat, holy cow.
What?
She said this would be perfect to put pictures of all of her 12 siblings.
Oh, that would be perfect.
That's a lot of siblings.
That is a lot of siblings.
My grandmother came from us, I think she was 12 as well.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
A lot.
And she, at the time when she was alive, she was the last of 4. So I think there's only like 2 or 3 left.
Ah. Okay, we'll be using the Cuttlebug here again in just a few seconds, but let's get this going. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to attach this first. So this is, Sean can get a little closer for you here. onto the card. And you can use any, my favorite runners are going to be the Xyron runner or something that has where it breaks away easy, because I'm just doing a very easy, like very short piece, because we don't want too much. They're very tight spaces, but we also want to make sure all the corners are down, because if not, whoever gets the card, it could come up and we don't want that. So we're just going to go around and hit all of these edges.
Angela's dad comes from a group of 11.
Wow.
He's number 4.
I forget how many my dad had in his, but he had a fairly large family as well.
Like 6 or 7?
Yeah, it was a pretty big family. So we will put this in the center as much as possible. Now, keep in mind, once again, this card size is A2, which means it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this die is 4 by
5 1/4.
5 1/4.
Yep.
So it gives us that perfect little offset. So the next thing is we just get to play with these circles in any way we want. I might eliminate the brown because I already have the brown on the card and that would bring in too much brown. So really these are the colors we get to play with. And we can either go, I'm kind of really liking that. Well, we'll see. And as you can see here, there's no rhyme or reason. I will say the card looks better though if all of your plaids going the same direction. I wouldn't twist around your plaids too much. Do you like all those colors, or should we eliminate one, Sean?
Probably keep all 5.
All right. You've heard it, Shawnee. So I just take this and once again, I just make sure my plaid is all going in that same direction. So that we want to make sure the plaid goes up and down. And we'll just kind of play around with it. You can, if it's too busy for you, you can obviously use less of the colors, but Shawnee has spoken, so we will.
I have?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my is right.
I guess if you did 4, you can do 4 up 1 and then rotate them around, I guess. Well, I don't know. I think that 5th one is kind of...
We've committed, Sean. We're doing it.
We're there.
We've done it. We're there.
Mary says my problem is her OCD. She would have to run this through Xyron or wet glue.
Oh, to get the whole back. What part?
Probably this part.
You could.
Oh, yeah.
I will say they lay in there really nice, so there was no need for that for me. But absolutely, you could. Maybe I will add some brown. I wasn't going to, but now I think I will.
No one will ever know.
Well, I kind of like the subtlety of that. Oops. Got a little adhesive too close to my white.
It's okay.
All right, so we're just going to keep adding. And no rhyme or reason, I would say just kind of place it where you think it looks.
Yes, Kathy Brown, that is the Guttlebug.
Where you think it looks the best.
So Patricia was looking at doing one with rectangle too.
Oh, really? Let's see, let's do...
Don said it would be great to do a rainbow of colors.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Just solids.
Yep. This die has so many different things you can use it for that really the possibilities are endless with it. What are you thinking, Sean? Where do you think the next one should be?
Should be that one, yeah.
There? You got it.
Yes, Renee, they are pulling that from the shelf.
What?
The Tim Holtz platform.
I'm actually going to be talking about that later because we are using it in today's video, but I will be transitioning to using the Misty again because they are pulling it from the shelf and you will not be able to get it. So I don't want to offer something that
you can't get.
Yeah, obviously you're not going to be able to use. So I will be slowly transitioning over to using that one again, so that way it's an option for you guys to buy, because nothing's worse than watching YouTube and the thing that you just watched that you loved is no more. So if you do like the Tim Holtz, I believe there is still some at Amazon, so you could get it there. All right, so all of these are extras, and that is what our card looks like so far. So I'm actually going to, we have these, we're going to cut this and this using little inker dies. So this here that has the little stitch on it, and then that will be Lil'Inkers. This one I believe is actually retired because I couldn't find it on the site. And I think I'm going to stick, what do you think about the orange and yellow? Or do you like that teal in there too? What do you think? Maybe do orange and teal?
Yeah, let's try to see what that looks like.
Okay.
The yellow just kind of said, are there things that the Cuddlebug can do that my Sizzix Sidekick can do? They should be able to do both just fine. It's more of a preference.
Yep, that is true.
A lot of the cutting machines are all just preference. Some people like electric, some people like the hand cranks.
All right, Shawnee, you have spoken. So those are the two colors you chose.
I did. I chose them.
You said teal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing we are going to cut is going to be this longer die. And then we'll cut this die here. And I think I want to do, I like the orange on top. So we'll do that. So let's cut this down a little bit. Once again, this is at the Cricut. This is the trimmer, and it is half off, so it's like $7. So if you ever needed a trimmer, now's the
time.
Now is the time.
Get it while you can.
Get it while you can.
It's such a grand price.
All right, so we won't need that anymore. Thank you, Shawnee. So this we will do in. You guys see I washi tape there because I was trying to get in a perfect position. That was a long time ago. How funny.
Yeah, Don, that's a perfect reason why to have your electric. You know, if you have problems with arthritis and stuff where it's just harder to crank, those electric ones work perfectly.
Yeah. I have the done both the Cut and Boss and
Gypsy.
No, not the Gypsy, the
what's the other one?
Oh, I just now Gemini. Gypsy, you're so funny. Gypsy, that's way back, Sean.
Sorry, Gemini. That's what I would say. Yeah, this can be a masculine card. Absolutely.
Yes. So there is the first one. Look at that cool stitch on there.
It almost looks like leather.
I remember when I was first starting in cards, and I would always see these stitches on things, and I'd always ask, like, how did you stitch your card? I'm not good at sewing. And then I realized that's how I actually fell in love with Lil'Inkers, is I looked up stitch dies, and her site came up, and she has a ton of stitch dies, so I love the look of that stitch die. Just adds a little something to the card. You know, Sean?
Laura got her Cricut trimmer today.
Woohoo!
Nice.
So there is our second color.
Nice.
So we are done with those pieces, so we can get that all out of the way. All right, so this will be on the card, and this actually will end up going right here in the center, but it's a little long, so we do want to cut that down. And so we're going to cut that at 4 inches, but we want to keep the end that has that stitch. So this is the end we want to keep, so we want to make sure that if we do it at 4 inches, we're going to keep one end on the stitch there.
Oh, Joanne got the Gemini today. Oh, nice.
Ooh, good job. It's a good machine.
Good machine.
This will end up going right here, but this is where our sentiment is going to go, and that's where we are now going to grab this set, which is the Animal Doctor set. And we're going to make this kind of another get well card, kind of like our other one, because I thought that worked out real good. So I'm going to be using, once again, this is the Tim Holtz the stamping or his stamp platform. As you guys have already heard in the chat, this is getting discontinued. I won't go into details on why. So if you like
some people were just asking why.
Oh, so you can look that up, but essentially it is getting retired everywhere except for, I think it's still going to be available in the United Kingdom.
In Asia.
In Asia, yeah. So, if you like this, you're going to want to get it now, and then I'll be using my Sweet Petunia Misty.
Oh my.
What?
So, well, Patricia's watching you, Christopher, and Melody all at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Because Melody's live on her trip.
Yeah, is she in her Tesla?
Probably.
So I just used this is just called the Embossing Buddy or Embossing Magic. It's from Inkadinkadoo. I'm not sure what's in it, but essentially it gets rid of your static on your cards that you're using. So that way when you're going to use embossing powder, it does not it removes that static, because on embossing powder, obviously it can. And we have two different, or the same stamp set. One says "Get well soon," and
think of it.
Yeah, I may have to place that one first though. Wishing you a speedy recovery.
I have Ken on my phone and Melody on my iPad.
That's so fun. She's doing that with her son.
Yeah, her son's with her.
Yeah, so how fun is that? You know what, now that I think you're right. I think it's a little too long, so I will grab a different sentiment. The top says "Get well soon," and maybe do "Take it easy." Sure. What do you think? Nope, Sean doesn't like it.
Let me see what they got. Let me look.
Okay,
so
remember,
this says "Get well soon."
We are limited to what this says.
I guess "Feel Better" is probably too big to fit on there. "Get well soon," "Feel Better."
No, I will just completely change it up. Since you are not happy, Sean, my whole existence...
Oh, now.
My whole existence is making sure you are okay with my card. So if you don't like it, we're going to just change it up. So this one now will say, "Not feeling so hot," and then the second line will say, "Feel better." Sean, are you happier with that?
There you go.
Like I said, anything to make Sean happy.
Not to make me happy.
Your wish, Sean, like that Princess Bride, is my command. So I just am looking for the positioning on this. Let's see here. Because I want it a little off. There we go. All right, so on this platform, there is you turn it for clear versus rubber. So I will show you that. But once again, I did link this. Both sizes are getting discontinued. So I guess he had like a small one too. And this one, and then all of the magnets, accessories with it are all being discontinued. So
yeah, so I think Angela or somebody said they just bought the small one so they can travel with it.
Yep. That is I think actually it's called the Traveler. So I'm just using some embossing powder or embossing ink, and you can see it here where it embossed it. I at least think
you can. I can almost see it.
But you can almost see it.
Almost. Maybe if I zoom in a little more, or are you gonna pop it up?
No, I pop it up.
All right. Yeah.
So what we're gonna do now is we're going to put some embossing powder on this. So because I did use that embossing buddy,
Well, welcome back from your vacation, Kim.
Kim's here from a vacation?
She was just on vacation, so she hasn't seen us in a while. It's been hard to catch anyone live.
So see how that embossing buddy made it to where the embossing powder is nowhere else on the card? So if you have a problem with your embossing powder sticking to cards, or you're using a material that's kind of staticky, or you're in a staticky house, I definitely recommend the embossing buddy.
So they were kind of missing on how you kept that piece of paper held down.
So one of the reasons I like using the stamp platform is it's very easy to clean. So I actually, whenever I have a small piece and I don't want to use magnets, I actually just take this, which is like just the adhesive runner, put it exactly there, and it literally, because it's a hard plastic, you can just peel it right up and it comes off. And then I just take a traditional, you know, rag or a wet wipe and cleans up.
Voila.
Voila. Just like that. So that's what I do if it's a small piece. You don't have to do that, obviously. And now we are going to heat set this.
Oh, you went through 7 states of driving. Wow.
So I always heat this up. And we're just going to hit it. Sean can probably get close to see where you can see it turn. So right now it's got kind of a powdery look. Once we hit it with a heat gun.
Might say better if you did it underneath.
What?
If you put the heat from underneath.
Oh, well, we're too late.
Too late.
So here, let me show them there. So you can kind of see it go from that powder. There you go. To a nice solid. I used to also think when I was just getting started in crafting, like, gosh, how do they get their white stamping so perfect? And then I realized, oh, it's because they're
doing embossing.
All right, so let's build our card. The first thing we're going to do is put down this stitch, and this end of the stitch is going to go. I cut that end off, but this end will be covered by the sentiment. So we'll just put down some adhesive.
So if you can't talk about the TH platform, where can you find it? Because there's nothing on the blog or at Tonic.
It's actually, I believe, there's a stamp booking website. I mean, the only reason I don't want to get in details is it's been going on for a long time. But My Sweet Petunia has the patent on the stamp platform, so they Tonic was against their patent basically. So that's why.
There you go.
So because they have the patent, just like that's the whole reason for a patent, it is so people
don't cheat.
Well, it's not a cheat. It's just it was that person's idea. So, all right. So I'm just gonna take twine. You can get twine pretty much anywhere. This one I believe is Fun Stamper's Journey, and you want some purple tape, and it's not very much. You could use any color twine. I'm going to go with that natural twine. In this one, I used a white twine because there was really only that white color in there. Now, what's great is we're going to take 3 fingers, wrap it around. So you have your starting right here. We're going to just wrap that around. And then we'll place it here. Now, here's the secret to this. So these are to secure your ends and starts. So, for example, here's one of the starts. We're going to put that right there with the purple tape. And this end, we'll do the same thing with the purple tape. We're going to secure it down with that purple tape. And our sentiment will cover that, so we're okay. Now you can kind of move this around. You can go either a nice even circle or go chaotic, whatever you choose. And once again, using purple tape, we're going to secure the ends. Can you get close so they can see that, Sean? That's kind of far away.
You bet.
You got to pay more close attention to that so they can see what's going on. So then you just basically made it chaotic, and then you can use washi tape too. You don't have to use purple tape. I just happen to love purple tape. But the big thing on this is it's going to hold it down, but it will also be hidden because we're going to be putting this sentiment right over that. So really, we're just securing it. So like right here, I'd probably put a little bit more. They're not going to see it, and you don't want this coming loose, and because we're going to be putting foam squares over it. And if it comes loose on the foam squares, it can shift around on you. So I'm more of a secure it, and then we'll hide it. So we have that, and all of that will be hidden by this guy. So now we can go ahead and put our foam squares on this guy. And I am a overuser of foam squares, so I tend to load it up because foam squares you can find, I don't know if you know this, but if you have a Dollar Tree near you or in their, I think it's their automotive home improvement, they have like this. And they say it's to use it for, you know, like hanging stuff on the walls and stuff, but it works great as foam squares. So I pay $1 for foam squares. I also get scrapbook ones from Amazon. I gave you the link down below. That's my second place.
Laura likes your idea for the twine.
What? Oh, for the, yeah.
Laura, she says, genius, love this twine tip.
Yeah, so this way you guys don't have to see it, but because when I first did twine, I was like, how do they? I'm kind of a control freak, Sean. So I like how it does that, but then I also don't want. I want it to be exactly where I tell it to go.
Exactly. I want it here and nowhere else, but there.
So the great thing is even if you don't put enough, either washi tape or something on it, your foam squares here are going to hold down the rest of that. So this way, if you put it in the mail, you give it to someone, it's not going anywhere. And if you are not someone that likes randomness, you want to control it, this way you can control exactly where the twine goes. But now, that's not going anywhere. That twine is there for the good, Sean. And just like that, ta-da!
Look at that, baby.
It's such a fun, easy way to do. I mean, it's a quick card, but it gives you so much. This is really a good idea to use scrap paper on. So if you have scrap paper, because you don't always have to cut out this. You only need like 1 or 2, 3 of these. So if you have scrap paper, you can cut out different parts of it, and it just works perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Whoever said you could use it as a masculine card is. So I want to show them the release one more time.
Okay.
So let's show you here. Once again, this is, now that we're nice and, this here, we used this stamp set, the scooter stamp set. Sorry, we have everything in a pile over here, Sonny. That's not it. So this used our background. Do something with my paper.
Which one?
I had a little piece of paper right here. That's okay. Thank you. Is it in that pile, Shani?
I'm not sure which paper you're talking about.
Well, I don't know what you did with it. That's okay. No big deal. Oh, I have it. All right, sorry, Sean. So this here is the scooter balloon stamps, and the dies. You'll notice the dies go with that because they have the dies for all your sentiment. So once again, you have these dies that have the motorcycle, or I guess it's more of like a Vespa here, and then all of your dies up here. So obviously you have ones, you have happy birthday die. So you have a die set for that, which is right here. Happy birthday. And then you also have one for celebrate, which is right there. And then you have one for thank you, which is the one I did right there. And this has really cute sentiments. So like I have the you're really awesome.
You're really awesome.
Just scooting by to say it's your special day, toot toot beep beep. And then on the Vespa, which is also on there, it's kind of fun because what we did here is we used foam squares. And so you have a nice distinction from the Vespa to the, can they see that? Kind of good? Kind of.
Yeah.
So, and then I love this background. And we just used little tiny pearl dots kind of on there to just, and then once again you have all of your, so it kind of looks like you're on a road. So love that set. We also don't want to forget about the palette. And then this one here is this stamp set here. Now this is also one of their tag dies at Lil'Inkers. I actually have it. So it's a nested die set. They come in a whole nest, so you get other sizes, and that is what we used right there. And this one, the background was done by the Spiffy Spots Stamps. So look at all these different patterns. And I literally built that on that background.
So a whole bunch of different ones.
So you can see all the different colors, and I just kept layering and layering and layering to get
actual different colors.
Yeah, and this here is actually, it's called fabric. It's like actual cotton paper. So it's got that really cool texture on it. So I love that set. And then, of course, for these guys, we use the sentiments off our animal die set, which is the doctor set right here. I can get that behind there. It's white backing so they can see it. I didn't have time to make a card to color in these guys, but look at that. You got a little Dr. Dog, a bunny, a little elephant. You have all of your little things, and then really good get well sayings. So you got get well soon, I'm here for you, feel better, wishing you a speedy recovery, giant get well wishes, take it easy, doctor's orders, not feeling so hot. So really fun, and that goes perfect with this, which is actually the perfect palette die. So this is going to be a very versatile die for people.
This reminds me of Spirograph.
Of what?
Spirograph.
Is that a character on one of your Star Trek shows?
No, it's a thing, a little art thing that kids used to play with.
Oh, I remember those when I was a kid.
Pen?
Yeah.
Spirograph.
Oh my gosh, Sean, you're so smart.
Not Spyro, but Spiral. Spiralgraph. Those were fun.
All right, so there is all the cards. So check them out. I'm going to be doing a lot more with them. So I'm sure many of you saw on my Facebook page or my personal page that I will no longer be working with Fun Stamper's Journey. It was actually probably more of a mutual decision. I've been so busy, you know, doing other ventures. But the big thing was I wouldn't be able to support or work with other stamp companies, regardless if they were part of a company or not. So like Lil'Inkers, I've also worked with the visible image, sorry. And so I work with all these great companies in the crafting community, and I wanted to continue that. So unfortunately, I had the option to stay with Fun Stamper's Journey if I just didn't promote other companies, and I wanted to promote other companies, and, and so I said goodbye to Fun Stamper's Journey. So for my customers that supported me, thank you very much. But I will be utilizing other products now in my crafts.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so check them out. I'll be doing a lot more with Lil'Inkers. I love this stuff. You guys will start seeing a lot more of my projects and everything. They have really great dies, great stamp sets. Their holiday collection is amazing. There is a ghost die set that is so cool that cuts a ghost on the basically the same size as your card, so it looks like a ghost is peeking out. So I really suggest it. So thank you to them for sending me this stuff out so I can show you guys and you guys can have fun with us. And if you have any questions, let us know. Was there any questions, Sean?
No, not really. I think everybody, I didn't see anything that we didn't already answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loved it.
Yeah, it's great. I love Laura. I love, she has an amazing design team. So that's one of my favorite things is we've all been there before where you want to make a card, but your craft mojo is gone. And you're just staring at this die and saying, this is a beautiful die, but I don't know what to do. And every single product on the website has an example of what you can do with it. So make sure you're following her Instagram page. Make sure you're following the Pinterest because there's tons of ideas.
Tons and tons.
And it's not just all the same idea. You have different ideas and stuff, which I love and stuff. The other great thing, anytime there's ideas on someone's page, for people that struggle with coloring, because I know there's a lot of people that are like, I don't know how to color. When there's examples, it kind of gives you an idea of the shading.
Sure.
So how did, you know, like on this Vespa, I didn't know the shading perfectly, so I looked at someone's example and it was like, oh, that makes sense. So I love that. That's perfect. That's my little cheat.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, don't forget to subscribe. We will be back tomorrow to do another project with all of you guys. There may or may not be a Ken from the car. We'll see.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I'm just not in the mood.
Okay, then.
Yeah, so, but there probably will be. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
make sure to support us by checking all the links down below. Show some love to Lil'Inkers and go check out their site. Like I said, we'll be doing a lot more with them. And other than that, if there's no questions... Oh, someone says, how is the Ray Dunn shopping going? Well, I started a Ray Dunn group. Probably shouldn't have done that because I have people across the nation looking for Ray Dunn, and I am a yes person, so I'm like, yes. So Sean goes, finally, how much do you have coming? And I was like, I have no idea. So... But we did learn, make sure we package well, because Ray Dunn post office is not, they don't know it's Ray Dunn. And I had to call them and say, you know that this was Ray Dunn in this box and you broke it, post office. Just kidding. So anyways, yes, it is bad. I was checking out, Ray Dunn is never, it's going to get me in trouble.
Yeah, oh well.
So, but that's okay, right? We all have to have something in our life.
Yep.
You know, something that keeps us happy. I collect everything. Like that's... You know, I try to collect. If I start something, I collect it all. That's just me.
Although it'd be impossible to have it all. All of her stuff. It's just
she has so much.
There's too much.
So, all right, guys, thank you so much
Thank you.
for this quick video. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing evening.
Goodbye.